The lighthouse stood on a jagged tooth of rock, miles from the nearest mainland and surrounded by nothing but the churning, charcoal-colored Atlantic. For 80 years it had been a solitary sentinel, but since the automation of the light, no keeper had walked its winding stone stairs. Elias, a technician sent to perform a routine maintenance check, didn't mind the isolation. He enjoyed the quiet, until the third night. Around 3 a.m., the wind died down entirely, leaving the sea eerily flat. Elias was in the lantern room, cleaning the glass, when he heard a rhythmic thud drag, echoing up from the base of the tower. He froze. He was alone. The supply boat wasn't due back for 3 days. He leaned over the railing and peered down into the darkness of the spiral staircase. The light from his lantern caught only the first few steps. Nothing was there. But the sound continued, the heavy, wet impact of something hitting stone, followed by the slow scrape of dead weight being hauled upward. He climbed down a few steps, his heart hammering, and called out, "Hello, is someone there?" The sound stopped instantly. He waited for a full minute, the silence stretching until his ears began to ring. He turned to head back up, convinced he was losing his mind when he heard it again, right behind him. Not from the bottom of the stairs, but from the landing he had just vacated. Elias spun around. The stairs behind him were empty, but the dust on the floor was shifting. Pressed into the thick grime of the landing were new, deep indentations, 2 long, furrowed grooves, as if someone were dragging heavy, severed limbs behind them. And the grooves were slowly lengthening, stretching out toward his boots. He didn't wait to see what was making them. He sprinted for the lantern room, scrambled inside, and slammed the heavy iron door, throwing the bolt. He pressed his back against the cold steel, trembling, clutching his wrench like a weapon. Then, he heard the sound stop just outside the door. For a long time, there was nothing. Then, a low, wet, gargling sound pressed against the doorframe, followed by a voice that sounded like grinding stones. "The light. It blinds us. Turn it off." Elias looked at the controls. The main switch was on the other side of the room. He didn't move. The door handle began to turn, slowly, rusted metal screaming against metal, even though the bolt was still locked tight. As the door began to bow inward under some massive, unseen weight, the voice whispered again, closer this time, leaking through the crack of the door. "We've been waiting for someone to let us back in. Are you looking for another story in a specific genre, or would you prefer a different type of creative writing?"